Need no explanation, need no introduction. Soviet Headwound ShR 2, if I remember correctly. One of the more uncommon of the Headwound masks. Not the most uncommon, of course. You got things like the Romanian Headwound mask based off the Romanian M74. But this was directly used by, if I remember correctly, most of the Soviet countries like Russia and Hungary, actually. In fact, there's a very wonderful photo of a whole crate full of these that Forest Man found while exploring, which he did have to leave behind due to the terrible condition. Ignore the beasties in the garden. This side isn't mine, so it's not my job to clean. I'm just borrowing their side. I've tightened it as best as I could. I say as best as I could, to the best of my efforts, so that I can be bothered. But this is one of the more interesting ones. Of course, the most common ones are the ShR1, which was used before the ShR2, which looks like a giant GP5 bladder, just like this one, which was then also used by Poland, essentially copied to be the SZR250, if I remember correctly. Fabric hose, Ghost. It makes that lovely snorkel sound. Interestingly enough, one of these lenses is more zinky metal than the other. Side exhale valve. I think this mask actually looks really cool when worn. The problem is it's one of the most claustrophobic experiences I've ever had in my life. It's super uncomfortable to wear. Not because it's like tight and painful, but because it's just terrifying. It's just this big old elephant bladder that you put on. And of course, because it's a head wound, it would have been for anyone who had a head injury, be it civilian or soldier, if I remember correctly. Anyone who can't, of course, put on things like this, too tight. I mean, like, let's say I've got part of my scalp hanging off. What I don't need is that pulling on the back of my head. And other Soviet masks, especially if it was used around the time of, say, something like the GP7, why would I want straps around my head? But actually, the date should be on this somewhere. Here we are. Pick this up and show you. We've got their production lot 3, Moscow 1984, in the 3rd quarter of the year. There's also a big L on the side there. The hose doesn't come off, which is probably a good thing. Ghost. I don't think I brought any Ghost filters out, so I won't be testing it. I wanted to do more with this mask. I simply don't have time. I'm intending to move soon. As you can see here, tied on with typical Soviet fabric straps. This says 311 in the roundel. Cool XL cover. These things come off. And you know, if they do come off, then good luck getting a replacement. I'm pretty sure you could probably steal one off the PDF series, so it just looks just like it. There it is, tied up at the back, and I'm going to actually take this off for a moment to show you how it comes out. So, pull that through, You can see here this rubber divide here, so they can fit anybody who did have a head injury. It's a rather unsightly creamy peach colour, and here is the neck buckle. Now this creamy rubber is so soft and natural that is part of the reason why I hate wearing this thing. Since this goes around your neck, as has been noted, I'm a large person, it's already tight around my neck. Having it tighter is quite frankly horrible, and it's one of the harder parts to get off, as I can show you here, because it gets caught. I'm treating it a bit roughly there, but it's in wonderful condition, this thing. It's got a couple of stains hither and thither, but you know, it's not torn or cracked, which is really wonderful to see, I think. I'm testing it now because this is probably going to go up on my eBay very soon. But yes, I'll pull that off. I've treated a lot of equipment worse. And there's our big old neck hole. Again, like I said, soft, cold. It's such a latexy, condomy feel. It's horrid. And there's your inside view, which is why I also call it an elephant bladder, because it reminds me of an elephant, and it looks like I'm wearing some giant organ from the inside point of view. There's your exhale valve, which has a mesh on it as well, which is a nice touch. Absolutely no defogging, but I suppose anyone who's got a head concussion will probably be escorted anyway. So there's a nice series of untampered with stamps in here. See if I can just get the focus to work on those. I'll have to do it myself, won't I? There we go. I don't really know what these ones mean. And it's number 2 on the side there. These don't have sizes because they're that massive. What's the point? The whole point is that you tie it to the adjustment size. Yeah, given some of the stamping here seems to have 84, 684. If it's in the third quarter of 1984, 27th of the 4th of the 6th, 1984 maybe. Interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna. God, I hate this. I'm going to briefly put it on. I'm not going to fully tighten it, but just so you can hear what exactly the voice sounds like on this, because there's no voice. So it's literally just this big bladder. In fact, I can show you something. I hope most of that was caught. It flexes in and out. I'm currently keeping it in an FM12 bag because I don't really know what I'm going to do with it, and due to its excessive size, I do have to get rid of it. So yeah, ShR2. God, I fucking hate that thing. I'm out of breath just from putting it on just briefly for that. So and like I say, it's very big, especially in terms of storage. If you don't want to damage it, compare it to something like even just the GP5. This is size 4, the biggest, and it's already significantly larger than that. So yeah, still very interesting, and a big thank you to Nick for sending it to me. And I might pop down in the description a link to the image of the ShR2s that Forest Man found in the fields of Hungary, if I get his permission. So, hope you all enjoyed. I've just noticed that I say just noticed, I knew it was doing it when I first got it, I just forgot about it, so I'm not going to make it any worse. Generally these are actually quite difficult to get inside the UK, so I'm still very pleased to see it. Oh, I should also note, I don't know if I mentioned it, that this is just sealed on. Like the hood is, the facepiece and the hood are essentially 2 different pieces. They've had the rubber sealed on there, and the hood is sealed on around the edges. There is a more modern variant, I believe, which has black straps and doesn't have this neck cuddler. But I can't remember if that's custom made or not.